When was the last time you've heard someone say something important, but only to be dismissed as, "You're simply too young to understand"? Maybe you've heard it before. Maybe you even said it to someone before. Or maybe you were the one being told that you were simply too young. Often when society sees our youth, they see them as unfinished people. They're capable, but later. They're intelligent, but later. They could change the world, but of course, later. That capabilities only come with time, with age, with enough experience. Yet, despite this, despite all the dismissals, there were still young people who didn't wait for permission in order to change the world. Malala Yousafzai was simply just a teenager when she fought and advocated for young girls' right to education, moving feminism a step forward. Meanwhile, we have Anne Frank, whose words and journal were powerful enough to teach and educate generations about humanity, war, discrimination. She was just 13 years old. These young individuals didn't wait to grow up because they never had to. Yet, even now, even today, young people are still looked down upon, whether in schools, workplaces, or even their own homes. But society needs to understand. Age does not automatically create wisdom. The youth does not automatically mean foolishness. Many of the world's first greatest ideas began with doubt, with people questioning whether it was realistic. Is it even feasible? Maybe it's just a silly little phase of yours that you will eventually grow out of. And another problem about this is that now, young people today find themselves to not have the courage to share what they think is best. They don't realize the need and the importance of stepping out of your comfort zones in order to share what you think is best. Why? Because we care deeply. We care about how people see of us, how people think of us, how people hear from us. And we'd rather stay inside the mold, the cookie cutter that society has put out for us already, because it is much easier and it's much more simpler. And we don't want to disappoint. So, why is this such a big deal? I mean, if someone has potential inside them, couldn't they just wait it out? Wait until they're older, until they're more experienced, until they can be finally taken seriously. But that's the thing. Potential is fragile. It's not some button that you can simply turn on and off whenever you feel like it. No, potential is like a spark that shines brightly, but it eventually dies down. And often, when people don't pay attention to it, they tend to not realize how brightly that spark was. And when you're faced with so much this doubt, when people don't believe in you, you tend to stay silent. You tend to keep quiet. And even if you try to put yourself out there in the spotlight once again, you find yourself just taking a step backwards instead. I've recently read an article, JD Psychotherapy. It talked about how when individuals, especially teenagers and young people, are faced with multiple dismissals, multiple rejections, they see this as proof of their incompetence, that their ideas, their thoughts, their plans do not matter, that they do not hold value. And this leads to silence. They stop talking, they stop sharing, they keep themselves closed and reserved. And they lose confidence. They lose self-esteem. Is that really an environment that our society wants to build for its younger generations? I mean, imagine this. How many inventors, how many scientists, how many writers, journalists, entrepreneurs, leaders that our world had just lost simply because we told them that they were too young? Now, I'm not saying that young people know everything, because we don't. But neither does anyone else. I find it so strange, so odd that we often view our youth as a limitation rather than a field of growing new possibilities. But the truth is, the future has always belonged to the people who saw it before it was even built, before it even functioned, established. And often, these people are the youth. Progress will only happen if generations work together, not when generations are looking down or dismissing upon one another. So, to all the young people who are still facing self-doubt, questioning whether they even have a place to share their ideas at the table, I just have a few final things to say. Your age does not determine your ability, because you won't make it anywhere if you keep playing it safe. Learn to take risks, because there is so much potential inside you. And it would be such a shame to keep them just locked away inside you for your entire life. Because our world deserves to see you share what you can offer, what you can give, what creative, innovative ideas that you can give out. Because instead of just waiting and waiting and waiting until you're finally acknowledged, take the initiative to be acknowledged. Thank you.